welcome to episode 58 of the Stateside Report UK with your host Stateside Hubs and my co-host Stateside Gabs. Like I said, my mic was not connected to
Oh
the
dear.
mic, so we'll start from here.
Real
Do you know
up.
what I mean? And like I said, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling for today's episode?
Oh no, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I've ran point for a whole year. I still will as well in the future. Don't think I'm close to hanging up my boots.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? I've got a good young fellow over here. Let me swing the rock. Let me see what he's got in the
It's
bag.
saying getting me under your wing.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
You
You know
Houston
what I
was looking
mean?
like Prime Harden back in Houston, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, pump the rock.
But no, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what the boys cooked up.
Of course, of course. And just to quickly get into some of the headlines that's doing the rounds in the NBA, the Hawks' Trae Young has sprained his MCL, will be out for at least 4 weeks. And the next wing, Josh Hart, says his hand injury is nerve related and is affecting his fingers. And the OKC Thunder are still the only remaining unbeaten team with a 7-0 record currently in the NBA standings. And I'll say, are we surprised? Over to you.
I mean, in regards to the Thunder, nah, I'm not really surprised. I understand what I'm looking at in regards to the best team in the league. The current reigning, defending NBA champions, still with the MVP that's doing his thing. I like what Chet's been early on in the season as well. You've even had some role players that have snuck up through the cracks. Where's that Mitchell fella come from? Who is he? Where's he come from? He's dunking everything in that all these days. But hey, man, I can't say I'm surprised. 7-0, fair play. Some teams were chasing you in regards to undefeated records. Obviously, at the time of recording, they've let that slip. So to say the only remaining undefeated team is the Oklahoma City Thunder, no one should really be surprised.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like when you win so many games in the last 2 seasons, going deep in the playoffs as well, it gets to a point winning becomes like it becomes a habit. Do you know what I mean? And when you're losing games, or when you're in games where you're losing, you find a way to win. Do you know what I mean? It's like the saying: bad teams will always find a way to lose, and good teams will always find a way to win. And that's what I see with the OKC Thunder. What do you think about the Trae Young issue? 4 weeks out, MCL sprain.
Interesting, just because it's been I remember me and you have spoke to Mars a few episodes ago. Go listen to that one if you haven't. And he was extremely excited in regards to what the Hawks can be. They had a lot of free agent acquisitions and they changed up the whole roster again to, suit Trey and suit what, they're trying to do over there, hide his deficiencies, make sure they can elevate everything that he brings to an offense especially. However, I'm looking at the standings. They're 3-4, so it's nothing to, sneeze at. Their defense is putrid. And now Trae Young is not going to be there. Their offense is about to be putrid. I'm not going to lie. So, he's going to be out for quite a long time. I would be extremely concerned if I'm a Hawks fan because their only saving grace is really that they're in the East. So even if they really fall away, they can still, wait for him to get back or still see other teams falter and compete against, the other teams in the West and the top teams in the East. They just have to hope they don't fall too far away from the pack because if they do, long day if you're a Hawks fan. That Trae Young injury is a big blow.
But that's the thing with me. I try not to believe the hype too much. I believe it when I see it. Do you know what I mean? This is a Hawks team that haven't really been deep or have made a deep run in the playoffs since 2021 when they got to the conference finals. And with all these new acquisitions, obviously there's been certain changes to the team, but the common denominator is Trae Young. Do you know what I mean? He's been their best player for a long time. And there obviously talks about him leaving the Hawks at the start of the season, or being traded away. But he stayed. They built the team around him. They got great defenders, two-way players, play finishers to complement his playmaking style. But then with this injury, you know what I mean, that could have, like you mentioned, that could upset the balance. That could upset the team chemistry. And if they start winning without Trey, that's just gonna make it even more difficult for him once he does get back, and it's just gonna uh, louden the noise of him getting traded and him, being better off out of the team, if that makes
Yep,
sense.
exactly, and that's a shame because you'd like to make it work. They made a whole hullabaloo. I remember when they traded Luca for Trey when they got drafted, obviously, and those comparisons have seemed to like kind of fallen away as we've gotten deeper
It
and
was
deeper
always
into
going
our
to.
careers. Yeah, of course, but you'd like to think that, oh, Trey, you know, make it at least competitive, make it interesting in regards to the parallels between those two. Obviously, Luka's gone up and is one of the best players in the NBA, and Trey is like a middling all-star, which is not a bad, you know, place to be. However, when you're supposed to be leading a franchise and the franchise like Atlanta that have been bleeding for such a long time, it's not a good look, is it? It's just not a good look.
It isn't, but I mean, we'll see how the Hawks fare, because it could be a thing where they'll actually miss him. But do you know what I mean? They'll miss his playmaking, his table setting for players like your what's his name, James Johnson.
Oh,
Is it
Jalen Johnson, love him.
Jalen? Yeah,
Great,
Jalen Johnson,
great player.
Nikhil Alexander Walker,
Risa
Porzingis as
Shea as
well.
well.
Risa Shea, exactly. Maybe he was the glue all along to tie all of that together. But yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on the Hawks. See how that materializes. I remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Josh Hart and that finger, and I remember I even went on Twitter to look at it to see the extent of it.
Hmm.
I'm surprised he actually rode out the season and started playing, even though it was heavily wrapped up. But there's certain injuries when you keep aggravating it, this is what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Especially if it's a nerve injury, and I think it's if even if it's not on the shooting hand, it's just his hand anyway. That's what he used to work. That's what he used to play. So I don't know. Is he going to be out? Do you know?
I don't think so. You know, like from what we know of Josh Hart is, you know, he's come from that. At least in regards to his Knicks tenure, he's come from the Tibbs. He's one of Tibbs' disciples. In regards to if Tibbs asks you to play 47, 48 minutes, then you go and do it. And he did it always without really complaining. And because he's come from that school, it seems like he's going to continue to play with that hampered, you know, finger. And that's probably not the smartest move in my eyes, just because, look, the Knicks, I've lauded them as the best team in the East. The record doesn't really say that. They're 3 of 3 right now. They're a middle of the pack team. Obviously, it's early days and things can improve. But even when you look at some of Josh Hart and the return that he's giving to the Knicks, it's not good. I should have been a little bit more prepared, but I will bring it up for you very shortly. It's a really bleak situation in that, here we go. 2 points first game, 6 points, 3 points, a donut. Okay, 14 points against the Bulls, and he started to figure it out a little bit. Didn't make any threes, by the way, or made 1 free in the corner, excuse me. But you can make an argument that he's hampering the team a little bit in regards to, look, we got this guy in the corner that has a bum finger. We're just going to leave him and just do whatever we need to do. And then on defense as well, there has to be I know my fingers going, but, you know, I'm going to have to push on and I'm going to persevere. Well, the other team are looking at you like food because you're playing at probably, you know, 60, 75% or whatever the case is. So if I was him, I would be looking to rest up. I've got a good team. I've got good players that can come into my position. My spot in the team, I'd like to think it's going to be safe because I have those leadership intangibles as well. I'm a well-respected figure in that locker room. Sit out and let's see what the season, you know, brings in regards to the Knicks without you. Get in your rest, and then when you come back in a few weeks, let's see what you have then. But that would just be me, innit? I'm not a millionaire who's playing for a title contender to have that kind of brain set to play, but that's just me, Stateside Half.
I mean, you did mention this a couple of weeks ago. You said the exact same thing of the fact that they just need to rest it. Do you know what I mean? Bring the healing down, wherever that is on his finger, to then get him back out there. Because Josh Hart, he's best known to be scrappy. Do you know what I mean? To die for loose balls, to do the things, especially on the defensive side of the ball, do things that isn't relatively on the stat sheet. You know what I mean? You don't really see on the stat sheet. But if he's got a bum finger and he can't, do all of that stuff, like you said, that's only gonna hurt the Knicks. Do you know what I
It's
mean?
fundamentals. You can't shoot the ball. If I don't remember if it's on the shooting hand or not, but you can't shoot the ball right now. That's a big red flag for a lot of NBA players.
Exactly, and that doubt is gonna be in his mind every single time. Do you know what I mean? When he catches the ball, he's gonna feel it. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be right at the back of his mind, like my finger, or
And if
like
it's your nerve as well, then you ain't even got to do much to, like, you could just my
yeah,
hand. What the
yeah,
hell? So
to aggravate it.
I'm just saying.
It's all a mess. You know what I mean? It's all a mess. But again, with the Knicks, they should have enough. They should have enough with your Jalen Browns, with your Mikal Bridges. They have enough to win games, to buy Josh Hart some time to obviously heal up and then get back on the court. But we did speak about obviously OKC briefly about winning their seventh game in a row, and the team that they beat, the New Orleans Pelicans. They're one of the teams that still haven't won a game this season. 0-6 so far, with Zion having played most of the games. I mean, Zion. Well, the Pelicans came into the season obviously with Zion losing a lot of weight. Do you know what I mean? Some saying some in the best shape of his career since he's been in the NBA. But there's a Pelicans team that haven't been in the playoffs in the last 7 years since Zion's been in the league, and they don't look like they've gotten any better. I mean, we're making all these acquisitions. What do you think about the Pelicans? And if this still keeps going on, do you think they should just trade off Zion and just blow everything up and start again?
It's interesting with the Pelicans just because look, we spoke about them a touch last week in regards to Jordan Poole making noise of, oh, this situation is so much better than it was in Washington. Well, the standings don't really say that now, do they? You know, they actually say that it's a lot worse of a
Facts.
situation if you just look at the record alone. Look, I understand what the Pelicans are in regards to them being a very young team. There's a lot of rookies on that team, a lot of rookies,
There
and
is.
they're still figuring it out. Unfortunately, we're saying this. I don't even know how long Zion's been in the year. At least 5 years, at least, and we're still saying that they're still figuring it out with Zion. You know, they're playing a center in like Misi and other guys that probably don't really suit him in regards to them not being a shooter. Zion's not much of a shooter as well, so you'd like to think maximize Zion with a little bit more space, and then we can, you know, start moving and grooving. You'd like to think that, you know, players like your Jordan Pooles and your Trey Murphys aren't, you know, pulling their weight in regards to having a little bit more of an impact when it actually comes to winning games. Because as well as Zion, you know, has been, and that can't do it alone kind of thing. So I'd say we have to park the conversations in regards to trading Zion away for now, just because look, you can see that he's worked so hard to get into some sort of shape. He's obviously played quite a few games, more games than a lot of people have expected him to play as well. Let's not reward him by trading him away to a whole nother city when he's not, you know, expecting it, when he's done pretty much everything asked of him in the summertime coming into the new season. And just because, you know, it's not started very well, that doesn't mean, oh, it's your fault, you got to get out of here. Let's just park it. Let's give it some time. They're still probably going to be one of the lesser teams in the Western Conference, but let's give it some time. I'm willing to bide my time on this one, Stateside.
I don't want to overreact, but like I said, like we said to Sam the other day, this is what we do on here. We overreact. And I wanted to ask, do you think it's a little bit unfair to blame Zion a bit for how the Pelicans have turned out? Because, like I said, this is going to be his seventh season, or this is his seventh season in the NBA, and he's been nowhere near the playoffs. He's been nowhere near the postseason.
The short answer is yes. Just because look, I'm a big component of players always have to take responsibility, whether a situation goes right or especially when a situation goes wrong. More than likely, you have the ball in your hands and you are in control of this team's destiny if you're the best player. Now, in saying that, the Pelicans are one of those organizations, I'm afraid, that is just year on year, it seems like a dumpster fire. In regards to, there's not a lot of culture there. The vets never want to stay there. There's always young teams there. There's always some nonsense going up, either in the culture staff room or higher above. They're one of those unstable franchises. And unfortunately, as we've seen in other sports, like in the NFL, like we have here in England in the Premier League, if you play in dysfunctional teams historically, then your chances of succeeding just go down. You know, I'm thinking of like Man United, my team. If you come Man United, get ready for a roller coaster ride, because some days it will be great, but there's some days the people will be asking you to pack your bags and go somewhere else. If you West Ham, the New York Jets, the Dallas Cowboys, the Pelicans, the Hornets, you can throw any of these teams in
The
regards to.
Sacramento Kings.
No, we're not throwing my things in there. We're not throwing my things in there. You could probably can as well. That's the maddest
Sorry,
thing.
carry on.
No, you were nasty for that, but you know what you've done, and it's all right. It's all right.
See, you
For
know what
argument's
he's
sake, throw my
done.
kings in there. Okay. Yeah.
You know what he's done.
Me and Westbrook got a thing going on anyway. It doesn't matter. He's playing well, by the way.
My God, just watch beyond belief. Sorry, carry
Oh,
on.
whatever you say, matey. But when you go into these situations, especially as you know, you have a bit of responsibility or you have a little bit of hype behind you, being the best player on the team, it's still tough to do, man. It's still tough to do. So it's not only that, you know, you're figuring it out yourself as a young person coming into this league, but you're figuring it out amongst all this chaos. And yes, the best players usually just find a way to figure it out. But you still have to remember, it's still a very, very tricky and sometimes unfair situation to put somebody in and expect it to happen. Anthony Davis was in that New Orleans situation for such a long time. Didn't really happen. Could you say it was his fault with all the numbers that he was putting up, with how he was, you know, anchoring their defense year on year? He could have stayed healthier for sure. But a lot of that was out of his control. And a lot of that also was he was having to backpack a poor roster year in, year out. So, to summarize it all, I can't blame Zion 100%. He has to take some responsibility. But that franchise, at the same time, dumpster fire. They need to look at themselves in the mirror.
You make a great point about setting a culture and an identity, which is something I've always harped on about because, like you said, the best teams, the winning teams, a common denominator is an identity, is setting a culture. But if Zion's not fit and healthy or available most of the time, I feel like he hasn't given the Pelicans a chance to set that culture with him at the top of it. You know what I mean? So then, if he's now coming back, if he's in and out of the team, it's a little bit difficult. You know what I mean? You're then the coach trying to set a team, trying to set a game plan without Zion or expecting Zion to be out for an extended period of time. Because now I'm looking at it, does that diminish Zion's value if he does get traded? Do you know what I mean? Will teams take the punt on him? What would they expect from Zion? Is he going to be on the court? Is he still going to have those off court issues? Is he going to be struggling with his weight? All these questions that I feel like with how Zion has been coming into the league, he's kind of brought onto himself. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? Because a player like Boogie Cousins is obviously your goat because AD was available and was playing and like you said was doing a carry job. It, it entices players like your Drew Holidays, like your Rajon Rondos, like your Boogie Cousins to come there and see if we can do something with that. Obviously, injuries then obviously plays a big part in that. But I don't think Zion has done well enough or given the Pelicans enough of a chance to attract these type of players to want to be traded to New Orleans. And if he does be the one, if he ends up being the one that's traded away, how much value does he have to bring to another team?
It's difficult to say just because of those questions that will always surround him probably for the rest of his career around his health. I would like to think a trade package involving Zion would cost you in and around 2 first-round picks as well as good young talent, maybe a current all-star as well. But even in saying that, and if you think that's a quote-unquote fair offer for Zion, you're still taking a huge, huge, huge risk because the boom of it is you're getting, on his day, at his best, top 15 style player in the NBA. And at the worst, the bust of it is you're getting, well, just that, a bust, pretty much. So I would like to think that his market is not very high in regards to teams that would probably be interested in trading him. It would have to be a bad team that's probably looking for any sort of glimmer of hope, i.e. a Charlotte Hornets situation. I could even envisage them, pulling the trigger on the Zion trade just because, look, there's not a lot going on over there. And
Yeah.
they'll give LaMelo probably another teammate. But it would have to be a team like that to take a punt on Zion. I can never see any sort of real contender or even middle of the pack team taking that kind of chance because that chance is too big.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. But hey, we'll park up the Western Conference chat for now, and I'll pass the rock back to you for our first game.
Ah, well, shall we play a game, Stateside Humph?
Let's play a game. Let's play a game.
Well, this game is called Wavelength. New game. And, I've thrown every game at you and you've passed so far. Maybe this will be the failure. Maybe this is where we will fall on our faces. I hope.
Impossible. We'll
Ah.
go 6 for 6.
There we go. This game, I will explain it to you in the best way I can. We both of us will play this game, Stateside Humph. Either me or you will flash a number to the screen. I won't look. I'm not a cheater. Don't need to cheat.
Right.
I'll win anyway. And it will be on the other person, the person that hasn't seen it, to throw some categories out. Maybe it's shooting. Maybe it's dunking. Maybe it's I don't know but maybe it's drip. Any category that you would put an NBA player in, and then you have to say the number that matches the player. So if my number was 10, for example, and you said shooting, I'd say Steph Curry, And then if you said dunking, I'd say Zion Williamson, You'd probably think, oh, this number's pretty high, By the end of it, you would have to guess the number that I have selected, and I'll tell you if I'm right or wrong, and then we can have a discussion about it afterwards. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for the people?
That sounds good. That sounds good. Let's do it.
So let's do this. I'm going to close my eyes, not looking right now, and I want you to, number one, I want you to flash your number on the screen, and as you flash your number on the screen, please say wavelength.
Wavelength.
Okay. Now, I have no idea what your number is. You
Mm.
can confirm. I will not deny that I have not
Mm.
looked. Well, I will deny that I've looked because I haven't. My first category. Let me go for athleticism.
Okay, so I've put the number down. You said athleticism, so now I have to say the
A player
player.
that matches your number from 1 to 10. 10 being the best, of course, and 1 being absolutely horrible.
Ooh. Um. Do I
Uh-oh.
have to say the player's name?
Yeah, you have to say a player's name. Can't read your
Uh,
mind.
Buddy Healed.
Okay. So I'm thinking of a lower athlete, you know.
How many tries do you have to guess the number?
We're going to do 4 categories.
Right.
4 categories. My next guess is going to be, or my next category is going to be. What should my category be? Oh, I'll use my example in a bit. Let's go drip. Will I see them on League Fits in something exquisite?
Right. Oh, so then I have to say
You have to say a player.
a player.
Yes.
5. Um. Ooh. Luca.
Luca doesn't really have drip, so okay. I think I'm getting there.
Right.
I have some numbers in my head right now. Um, let's go for defense.
Defense. Ooh. Who is defense? Let's go with Curry.
Uh okay. I'm a bit swayed now. I'm not gonna lie. But we'll talk. Okay. Um, my final category is going to be IQ.
IQ. I gotta look at some of the players in the league because my mind goes blank around this time. Um,
Is this a Jokic
IQ.
level IQ player, or is
Hell
this
no.
who's a low? Is this a Kelly Oubre type player?
That's, um, let's go with Westbrook.
I've got my number. I've got my number
What's your number?
4.
Do I tell you what the number is?
Yes.
5.
5.
Slap bang in the middle. Because Buddy Healed, he's an all right athlete.
Yeah.
Lucas, sometimes he might come in a training fit. Sometimes he might come in a button-up suit.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Westbrook can give
yeah.
you a boneheaded play, one play,
Yeah,
and give
or
you an
he can
amazing
give me the
play.
yeah, or he can make the best player I've ever seen.
That's what I'm
And
trying to say.
Curry's
So
just a mid defender. Is what you're telling me.
that's literally what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
All right then. Okay. Fair
So
enough.
it's not bad. I
Okay.
nearly said the number 5 earlier, and I had to style it out.
I wasn't locked in. I wasn't locked in enough, as you can tell. Then, okay, cool. If you look away now, I will present my number and I'll tell you wavelength. That's probably when you can look, I guess. Let's do.
It's a number between 1 and 10.
It's a number between 1 and 10. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst.
All
Let's
right.
do wavelength.
Let's start with IQ.
Um, IQ. I will give you. Devin Booker.
Let's go with athleticism. I can't say that word for nothing.
Athleticism.
Athleticism.
I will give you. Oh, hold on a minute, sunshine. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna give you. For some reason in my head, Nikhil Alexander Walker. Don't ask me why.
Alexander Walker. That's Shay's cousin.
Shay's cousin.
Wow. That's kind of thrown me off a little bit.
Mm.
So I went IQ, I went athleticism, playmaking.
Playmaking, I will go. Um, Playmaking, I will go. The first name in my head for some reason, and I don't even. Scotty Barnes.
Because now I'm thinking, how high do you really rate Devin Booker's IQ? That's kind of what I'm stuck on right now.
Mm.
And the very last one, let's go with drip as well, because I'm intrigued to see what you're going to say on that.
Trip. Okay. Let's go with. Let's go with. No, this guy. I was the guy. The first guy that popped into my head. I'd put him a lot higher than
Yeah.
this. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. For some, Anthony Edwards. For some reason,
6.
oh,
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
done, well
Re-
done, well done.
Wait, you think Book's IQ's at a 6?
It's a little bit above average.
I think it's. I mean, I'll probably give it a 7, maybe 8.
See, this I would like to think that he can play multiple positions, right? In
Right.
regards to point guard playing off the ball as just a traditional wing as well,
Mm.
and obviously to do that, fair play. But at the same time, would I trust him to be the point guard for a championship winning team? No.
No.
So
Right.
I would say your IQ is a bit above average,
Mm.
but I can't give you more than 6. I feel
More
like,
than 6.
yeah.
Who'd you say it was for Duncan?
Um, Nikhil Alexander Walker. He's
Yeah,
average. I don't
he's an
know.
all right. Yeah, he's an all
Yeah,
right
he's
dunker.
all right. He's an all right athlete in general, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah, and
Fair
then
enough. Now, to be fair, that was fun. Actually,
yeah,
it got me thinking. It got me
see, and then
thinking.
Anthony Edwards is like he's not dripless, but like about average is about right. I'd
It
say.
is about average, but
Yeah,
exactly, and people like the casual fits as well that he puts on.
do you get
So
it? Do you get it?
yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
let's do a couple more of these. Let's do a couple
yeah.
more of these. Would you like to go or should I go? As in
You go
pick a
again,
number.
and then I'll go.
Okay, cool. So you will close your eyes, and
Mm.
I will say wavelength. Wavelength.
Let's go with Duncan.
Duncan, um, I will say. Ooh, wait, hold on. Let me think. Let me think.
Mm.
I'll say. This is a good. This is a toughie. Let me say Rudy Gobert.
That's throwing me off. That's throwing me off because he's 7'1". I mean, you should be able to playmaking.
Um, I will say. I will say. Oof, I can say. Let's say, for the sake of it, LaMelo Ball.
Ah, um, IQ.
Let's say IQ. It's a good question, you know, and I'm gonna say whose IQ am I rating these days? Because as you can tell, it's a high number. There's no secret. Higher number.
Right.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Yanis.
For IQ. I think I've got my number.
Oh, you don't want your last guess?
I've got my number.
What's your number?
Number 8.
I had number 9.
Ah.
Ugh,
But
higher
then
number.
I hear it, but that's what I'm trying to say. The Rudy one threw me off because he's 7'1".
Good dunker
He
though, isn't he?
should be able to dunk, but he's
Yeah,
got bad hands.
good
So
dunker.
he's always missing dunks that he should be making.
He's led the league in field goal percentage a few times.
That stinks. He's not a good finisher at all.
Fairs.
So that's what was throwing me off. But then when you said LaMelo playmaking has an 8, a LaMelo playmaker was like, oh, that's higher.
No, I gave him a 9 because like he's objectively a good playmaker, but the turnovers is obviously an issue. So can I give him
Facts.
10? Probably not. Could I give him 8? I think that's a little low. Little low.
Yeah.
And then obviously
I've
IQ was Giannis. Yeah, give it to
IQ
him.
was Giannis, yeah.
I think Giannis is a high IQ guy.
I've got my number. I'll just put up on the thing.
Go on.
Wavelength. Nearly forgot the name of the game.
Can I look? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go for shooting.
Josh Giddey.
Oh, okay. Let me go for defense again.
Luca.
Okay. I think I have my number. Knowing you. Let me throw this one in there. Let me
The
go
number
for,
0.
Let me go for this. I'm gonna use all my categories. Let me go for injury record.
Oh. Kawhi.
Oh, okay. And then my last one, as the kids say, aura.
Aura. Oh, that's not a category I think you were gonna pick. Aura. Aura.
Kids, I think maybe there's a
Oh my
replacement for
god.
it now. I don't know.
Who had Aura? Harrison Barnes.
Oh, zero aura. Okay. No aura at all. Sorry, Harrison. I'm gonna go for 3.
Bang on.
Ah,
Bang on.
ah,
Bang on.
yes,
That's exactly what it was. 3.
yes,
Hit the nail
yes,
round the head.
yes.
That's not a bad game, you know.
It's not a bad game.
That's not a bad game. The fact that
Nah,
we both got one right as well.
there we go. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I stole it. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I don't mind that at all.
TikTok special,
I mean,
but that will be
take
definitely
those.
yeah, we'll take those 100%. That will
We
be a
take
future
those.
that will be in a future installment, maybe next week. Who knows?
100%. We've got 82 games, so
I'm
we'll
telling
be
you.
there.
Wavelength. I'm telling you.
I mean, I'd say we'll take a plane and travel all the way to the east.
You see, ladies and
What's
gentlemen.
going on there?
You see, ladies and gentlemen, now we keep the show rolling because let me explain to the people what has happened. Stateside Humph, he was told point guard. I also told him he needs to run the plays.
I need to run the
He needs to
plays.
run the plays. He did run the plays. It's all right. Next week he will do this again. It's not a problem. I told him he has to run the plays because I was thinking in the Western Conference, I was a bit short. You know, there's only one topic in there, but it's fine. Don't worry. I've already thought about the situation. Don't worry.
Talk to me.
Swing the rock back. Come on, swing me the rock.
Let me chuck it back your way.
We're
Chicago Bulls.
We're gonna talk about this. How about this? You will take control of the last game. You know how to play the last game. You know how to do this one. You know how to do that one. I want to talk to you about. Funny enough, we talked about the Bucks a little bit. Giannis came up in the previous conversation. We're talking about them, but not about him. About Myles Turner. They will reunite and play the Pacers. If I'm not mistaken, of time of recording tonight. If I'm not mistaken. Interesting comments were made by Myles Turner in regards to, I want to say, I don't remember what podcast he was on. Maybe you know. I should have checked. Didn't. But he was on a podcast recently and he talked about his departure from, obviously, the Pacers to the Bucks. He had quite a bit to say in regards to Tyrese as well. From what I remember, he said, Tyrese, one of them guys, he knows he's got backup. so he can just talk the talk and walk the walk. He knows the man them are coming. They're gonna
Fake
back the
tough
thing.
guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he was alluding to. Now,
Yeah.
Stateside, me and you spoke about. We even spoke about it in regards to Jordan Poole last week. In regards to Jordan Poole spoke badly on the Wizards, but that's what people do when they leave certain teams. Desmond Bain talked not crazy, but he made a comment in regards to what the Memphis facility was and then the Magic's facility was when he walked into there. So now what Myles Turner is saying, acting, behaving, what are your thoughts? Are you hearing it in regards to him throwing his point guard that he was dishing all those threes out when he was on the perimeter, not grabbing rebounds? What are what's your takeaway, I guess, from what Myles Turner had to say in regards to now he's coming to the Pacers arena again and now all of a sudden he's bad mouthing them?
My takeaway is exactly what I said last week. When players leave certain organizations, they get butthurt. Do you know what I mean? So then they either um talk bad about the organization, talk bad about the star player. Maybe the star player didn't fight hard enough to keep him on there, or if they felt like or Miles Turner's felt like he's been there for what 10 plus years. Tyrese has come in all of a sudden getting paid more than him. He's getting shipped off. There might be some bad feelings. Who knows? There's some pent up feelings that he just couldn't let go of. Obviously, certain podcasts as well, you get comfortable. You start saying things that you shouldn't be saying. You come off the podcast thinking, why the hell did I just say that? Do you know what I mean? But, or maybe you still want some sort of relevancy, some sort of noise and, you know, noise around you and your name. So you say stuff like that, which almost sounds like it's coming out of left field. Do you know what I mean? Because we all know Tyrese is a fake tough guy. Do you know what I mean? It's Tyrese. Do you know what I mean? It's little old Ty. Do you know what I mean?
You're not doing about my ex-point guard, okay?
It's little old Ty. Do you know what I
Not
mean?
letting it slide.
But it's just like I'm saying. It's just I'm not surprised when I see certain players talk about stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But Tyrese did help Myles Turner get paid. He helped him play some of his best basketball as well. So it's just stuff like this. Not to say that I'm surprised, but it's like why would you say that about Tyrese? Do you know what I mean? There's really no need.
I agree. I believe that you was Uncle Miles over there. I know the Pacers fans revered you in regards to somebody who's been there for a long time, that's seen the highs of what it was with like PG and the end of that era, and then
Roy
was
Hibbert.
rebuilding.
Shout out Roy.
You know what I mean? And then he saw the rises of like Victor Oladipo and stuff like that, and then they went for a low period, and then all of a sudden Tyrese has fallen into your lap, took you lot to the NBA Finals. So I don't think you should be treating that as, I won't say disrespectfully, but I don't think you should be, talking the way you're talking in regards to how good you had it with the Pacers and how good especially you had it with Tyrese. And then all of a sudden, just because you've now gone to a rival, which you chose to go to, by the way. I know Milwaukee gave you the money and all that, but you still had to decide, I'm going to go over to that team. You still had to make that decision to go there. So you shouldn't be bad-mouthing the Pacers that gave you a career, especially Tyrese that gave you some sort of playoff success. Before him, don't know what the Pacers were doing in the playoffs because it wasn't making the conference finals, wasn't making the NBA finals. So I don't think you should be talking on Tyrese's name as freely as he is. But that's just me defending Tyrese, maybe. I don't know Stateside.
No, this is literally perfectly well said. Do you know what I mean? Because there's just certain stuff like this. It just comes out of left field, and you're thinking, why have you said this? Like, what's the main reason to why you've said this? But hey, I'm sure they're gonna be all hugged up and dapping each other up tonight. You know what I mean?
No,
When the Bucks go to Indy,
yeah. I don't know if it's home or away. If it's at
I think it's
Pacers,
in Indy.
oh, get ready for
It's
the
in Indy at 12 o'clock today.
Get ready for the
But
blues.
literally half of the Pacers team are injured. I think they've only won one game this year.
Yeah, I
1 and
saw when I
5.
saw Matt McClung out there for them, I said, "Yikes!" And that's not because he's a bad player. That's
Hack up the
because
season.
they are on their knees. Yeah,
Hack
they're
up the
on their
season, man.
knees.
You
They
got
are
Matt
on.
McClung playing significant minutes for your team. Shout out Matt, man.
And you know what's mad? In the one game I saw, I think it might have been his first one. Played well, Hey,
He
Matt
did.
McClung.
Hey,
Yes.
he's got mouths to feed. You know what I mean? So let me not talk too much. Shout out Mac, man. You know what I mean? NBA dunk champion, man. Put some respect on his
Oh,
bloody name.
oh
You
my
know what I mean?
days. Another team that I wanted to talk to you about was the Miami Heat. They've been getting a lot of love as of
Yeah.
recently. You've probably seen a few of the breakdowns and the videos that's been circulating specifically about their offense. If I could give you a Stateside off, I'm not much of a stats man myself, but in regards to the highest scoring teams in the NBA, Houston Rockets, Philadelphia 76ers, Miami Heat. They're up there. They're above teams
They're
like
up
the
there.
Nuggets. They're above teams like the Thunder. They're above teams like who's it going to the
124
Lakers?
point. Yeah.
Yeah, they up there. Now, it comes from this, I saw it a little bit with Memphis last year. Don't know why they didn't stick with this, by the way. But with Taylor Jenkins, he was enforcing this, style of offense that is lesser pick and rolls, is built on more beat your man off the dribble, get to the cup, maybe dish it out. Just play quickly and make good decisions when we have the ball without ball screens. And I'm not saying, it's not going to work. But the question I have for you, Stateside, in regards to where they are in the East right now, with how well the offense is looking, and, it's putting wins on the board. But can they sustain this with what is, in my eyes, a real lack of talent on that roster?
I think eventually they'll regress back to the mean. Do you know what I mean? They're starting off the season very well, and most teams, when you start the season well, you want to start as you mean to go on. You know what I mean? They've got players like Jaime Jaquez. He's actually played well to start the season. Bam as well. I'm still waiting for Bam to take the next level to lead this Miami team. Do you know what I mean? To I guess improve his offensive game as well. Do you know what I mean? To get him to another level, because defensively he's undoubtedly one of the best in the league and come guard 1 to 5. But offensively is where I think he can make that separation from a lot of players. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know if he can still make that this late into his career, or how many years he's played in, and we're still not yet seeing that improvement offensively. With Tyler Hero as well, do you know what I mean? He's always there or thereabouts. Made the All Star team last year, but it's just the team. I don't love the team. Yeah, I mean, they do have that foundation of defense, which obviously when you're playing for Coach Spo, that's just what it's gonna be. Yeah, I mean, they have obviously David Mitchell there as well. They play good defense, but in terms of scoring the ball, like I said, it's only what a 6 game sample size. I don't want to overreact on that, even though over here that's what we do. We overreact,
Absolutely.
but still, I feel like the Heat eventually they will regress back to the mean, and they'll be, a playing team like they have been for the last couple of years now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Like, I'm not gonna let the stats really, really favor them. Like, they're third in assists from what I can see as well. They're high up there in defensive rebounding as well. So like, they're trying their best on both sides of the ball. But I
Yeah,
kind of agree with what you said, to be honest. Just because I feel like there's a real lack of talent in the roster, and because it's so early into the season, and this is not the first time we've seen this style of offense. Even though fair play is working as of right now, teams will scheme, figure this out, especially when it comes to playoff time, if they even make it there. At that point, it's like, who's the best players on the team? Oh, they play for the other team? Well, lads, I'm not sure we're going to win this series, So let's see in regards to the Miami Heat.
they
What
scored
success.
120 against the Lakers last night, but gave up 130. Do you know what I mean?
So
So
now, Grant,
it's
is
like
that literally what I'm saying as well? Who's the other? Did Luca play in that game? I want to say
Luca played. Yep, Luca
he
played.
dropped a 40-point triple double, if I'm not mistaken.
Luca,
Um,
I think him. Well, the three white boys. Luca dropped 29, 11, and 10.
yep.
Reeves 26, 4 and 11, and Laravia 25, 8 and 3.
So when it comes to the Lakers, and look, they got some shooters on that roster now, and
Facts.
they have a supreme player
Exciting
in there,
whites, as they call them.
as you do. You know what I mean? Please don't say that too loud. They might find us. You know what I mean? But
Right.
no, but when you have a collection of a team that has obviously a supreme player in what Luca is, that your team can't even match. Maybe you have the offense to maybe upset them, but when they have a player like that, put that in the playoff series, then you know what the end result is going to be.
Facts.
So I credit them for trying, and they have to, because that's the only chance they have if they're not going to be a full-on tanking team. But I'm just not sure. They have to do a lot more to convince me, is what I'm saying. Stateside Humph, we've come to the end in regards to our Easter Conference conversation. Usually I ask this question in regards to what we're going to do next, but as I swing the rock back over to you, will you please?
Do you want to play a last game to close out this
Uh,
beautiful episode?
I'd
This
love to.
incredible episode.
This incredible episode, and incredible is the word for it, indeed. Please.
Depending on how you want to interpret it, it's been
Oh,
incredible. You'll have to see it. Anyway, we're gonna play overreaction. Is that what it's called?
it is what it's called, indeed.
All right, let's play it. Do we even? Oh yeah, we do.
Of course, this point guard,
Get
bubbling
him off
his
the team.
dribble up and down the court. Ah,
Get him off the team. You,
what?
you, you you look back and you make eye contact with the coach. You know you're never.
Coach has his hand in his hand like this.
The coach is talking to the assistant. You'll never play it again.
Word. Coach is talking to this. He's doing this. He's doing this. What?
The coach is doing this, and you
Word.
pretend you haven't seen him.
Jesus. The coach is dragging the
Yikes.
next man off the bench, and you're like,
Hey,
finished. I'm finished.
the guy's trying to call your name, and you're not even looking at him. Oh my god, I am finished.
Ah.
Ah!
Oh my
Right.
days.
So the last game to play to end off this brilliant episode is overreaction, and we're gonna start with the first one. OKC will break the 73-9 regular season record this season. Currently 7-0 to start the season.
Don't
What we
care if
saying?
they're 7
Is
0.
this an overreaction or no?
Don't care if they're 7-0. They probably won't break the record. I feel like, if you want to go for that, then by all means, that's going to be extremely tough to do in this kind of, age of basketball that we're in. Like we just talked about, there are Miami Heat that don't have a lot of talent on their roster, still can put up 120 points in their sleep. So I think you would have to exert a lot of energy in regards to stopping teams on the defensive end, which I'm not saying you can't do. However, if your aspirations are, win a championship, unless you have Michael Jordan on your team and you go for a regular season record, a championship's probably not happening. So I don't think that's wise for the Oklahoma City Thunder to be chasing that kind of, regular season glory when it comes playoff time, there will be the best team probably still in the NBA even at that time. So I wouldn't be chasing that record, and I don't think they're going to do it. Overreaction.
Ooh. To me, I think it's a slight overreaction. But I mean, bearing in mind, we've started the season 7-0 without J-Dub. J-Dub hasn't played. Most importantly, Kenrich Williams has not been on the team when we've gone 7-0 to start the season. I'm telling you, like, you can roll your eyes all you want,
This
but
Kenny
K Rich
Hustle.
has not. He has not played a single minute, and we've won 7-0.
So
Chet
Kenny
has
Hustle is
missed
going to
three.
make you lot go 74-8.
I'm just saying, if that's what you're saying, I'm with you. Do you know what I mean? Chet has missed 3 games. Lou Dort has missed a couple games. But Shea has been there every single time. Do you know what I mean? And he's leading this league in scoring and assists. AJ Mitchell has had to increase his minutes and his production. You know what I mean? He's making the jump this season as well. A little mini Manu Ginobili. Hey, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying. But 74 wins is a bit too much. I think we probably might touch 65-ish wins again. Obviously, we'll need our best players back to play Thunder basketball to the level that we played last season. But when you have the MVP in the league, anything is possible. And I just hate. I'm not gonna make this about Thunder thing. I just hate how people disrespect Shea. Do you know what I mean? Because he makes the extraordinary so ordinary and just so constant.
Hmm.
Other people are out here losing games left, right, and center. When you have Shea, he'll win you games you're supposed to lose. That's all I'm saying.
Do you know what? Before we even move on to the next one, I haven't, surprisingly enough, I have not watched the latest series of Starting Five, but
Oh yeah.
I have seen a clip in regards to, obviously he was talking about it last year, but it's still relevant. He said, if I drop 30, that's a bad game for me now these days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, bro's really ascended into like the best player in the league conversations. And obviously deep down, like I knew this, people have known this, but I think even now, even after the championship, even after the finals MVP, after all the accolades, people are still reluctant to put him in that bracket with, whoever you think is the best players in the NBA, whether
They're
it's
still putting Luca ahead
whether
of
it's
him.
Giannis,
What?
which is Luka, which I'll still put ahead of him. But people are reluctant. It feels like, maybe you could tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels like people are reluctant to put him in that, best players in the league bracket. But for real, not just, he top 10. No, he probably top 1. People are scared to say that.
They're scared to say that and I think once they actually realize Shea is the best player in the league, it'll be too late. You would have back it. It'll be too late. You would have three-peated. But we'll remember this, like I said, we'll remember this exact episode when I told you that OKC Thunder are going to three-peat and Shea is going to win back to back finals MVPs. Anyway, moving on to the second overreaction, which kind of ties into what we were just talking about. On current form, is Wemby the best player in the league?
Are you asking me, yeah?
I'm asking you. Is there an
Yes.
overreaction?
No, it's an overreaction. He is the best player in
Oh
the
my
league on current form. Yes, 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 yes,
god.
yes, yes. In regards to when you look at it, stateside, yeah, 7'5" can do everything. I'm not gonna read off the man's skill set because you know what he can do. Can do everything at this point. And unfortunately, he still would have been one of those undefeated teams if it wasn't, for last night at the time of recording. But first time in Spurs history that they've been led to a 5-0 record, not by Tim Duncan, not by Manu Ginobili, not by Tony Parker, by Wemby, and obviously they've lost it, and he played, he played poorly to his standards.
No, let's say with chest.
That's
He
fine.
played horrifically.
That's fine.
9.6 turnovers.
That's fine. That's fine. If the season ended today, do you know who'd be the MVP? It would be Wemby.
Impossible.
Oh,
How? Don't.
it would be Wemby, matey.
I hear it. No, I hear it.
So it's not an
Wemby being the
overreaction.
best. Wemby being the best player in the league is a massive overreaction. By the way, do you know what I mean?
Current form. You said a current form.
I'm current form is Shea. What, bro? I understand. Wemby, what he's doing makes no sense. You can't you can't comprehend it in human form. Do you know what I mean? Defensively, what he's doing, I think he's gonna average 4 to 5 blocks in this season. He's gonna have a couple quadruple and triple doubles with 10 plus blocks, which hasn't been said since what, Hakeem?
Hakeem and that, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is insane. Obviously, he trained with him in the off season and everything as well. And I love how Wemby plays big. I like when players play this size, whether it's centers, when it's centre backs in football. I like when break shithouses when they play this size. And Wemby does that to a high level. I mean, it's very difficult to guard that unless you're the Phoenix Suns. But
Unless you got Mark Williams and Nick Richards.
that's what I'm trying to say. He couldn't
Malawak,
park Mark. He
them
couldn't
man.
park the Mark Williams test. We said he's looking the Mark Williams penitentiary.
Ah! What did Michael ever do that one time? Ah! That's how they had Wemby, dog.
Bro, I'm telling you. And don't get me
No, but
wrong.
I'm just saying though, you're allowed to have an off game. You're allowed.
Bro, Wemby's a superstar player. Do you know what I mean? But there's certain levels that he needs to get to, and I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about playoff stuff. Like obviously that is obvious. He needs to get the Spurs into the playoffs, and he needs to show us what he's doing in the regular season, in the postseason, when the expectations are an all-time high. Do you know what I mean? When he showed me this for 82 games, can you now show me this in the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try and park that for a second. But I'm just saying, performances like last night against the Phoenix Suns, giving you 9 points and 6 turnovers, I expect that to happen because he's still in his third season. He's still very young.
Yes, yes.
So I'm not. I'm still reluctant. Even before last night's dreadful performance, I'm still reluctant to put to mark Wemby as the best player in the league. That's too early. That's a massive overreaction. When you have your Jokic's in the league, when you have Giannis in the league, who I hate, and you have SGA, the current MVP, your MVP. Do you know what I mean? Let's put some respect on Shea's name. I mean, he churns out 7-0 wins like that, like it's nothing. But Wemby being the best player in the league right now is a slow overreaction, even with his crazy, current form.
You said it, not me.
And and the third one here, a member of the Chicago Bulls will make an All-Star team this season. Overreaction or not?
It's an overreaction, Shout out to the Bulls fans because they have something to be excited about in regards to Josh Giddey, locking in. For lack of better words, I understand he went through a lot of drama in regards to trying to get some sort of contract
Yeah, he
with the
did.
Chicago Bulls, and he's come into the season and he's been playing very well. Fair play to him. You obviously know Josh Giddey from your Oklahoma City Thunder days or his Thunder days,
Yeah, we
but
birthed him.
yeah, fair play, fair play. Gave him away though, didn't you?
Of course.
For a ring, of course, but
Yeah.
But I'm excited for what Chicago have to offer in regards to Billy D. At this point, veteran coach in the NBA. He's been in the NBA for a number of years now. Has a lot of experience
Gaffer.
going deep in the playoffs. I give him the respect where he does when he gets it, when he
Right.
deserves it. He's somebody that's perfect to lead a younger Bulls team who is what I want to say 5-1, 6-1 in the
They're
standings,
5-1 right now.
doing very very well. Will this maintain? I'd like to think it's gonna middle out by the end of the season, by the middle of the season. However, as it is right now, fair play to the Chicago Bulls. They're playing excellent basketball. They won't have an all-star though. Sorry.
I mean, bro, Josh Giddey, if he actually plays to his full form, that's a walking triple double.
Is that a
And in
walking
the
all-star?
East, But in the East, when you don't have your Tatums, when you don't have your Tyrese Halliburtons, who made the All-Star team last year, that's a spot. I mean, what do I say? Save me a seat. Save me a seat at the All Star game. I don't know where it is this year, but if Giddy keeps playing the way that he's playing, I don't see why not. I really don't see why not. And he's playing in a big market as well. The Chicago fans will get behind him. If it's not him, Kobe White, but obviously they'll have to play to a level where they are winning games, which I won't be surprised if it gets one of them into the All Star team. Shout out Bazelis as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Fourth one, the Sixers should find a way to trade Embiid. Overreaction or not?
It's not an overreaction, but I don't think it's possible. I just don't think it's possible in regards to number one. He's on. I think he earns like $60 million a year.
Ridiculous.
You're not trading that so easily, bro. That's like a free teamer, if anything. And then number two, it would have to be a team that have championship aspirations and have the facilities, players to understand what Embiid's situation is in regards to if your team's not deep enough and it has to rely on Embiid to play, certain amount of games and average a certain amount of points, then it's not happening. Me and you did a trade machine last week in regards to an Embiid for, I think it was Rudy Gobert and I think it was Jaden McDaniels. Okay, yeah, he goes to Minnesota and they would have an Anthony Edwards, a Julius Randle, and then probably some plug and play center if Embiid, naturally gets hurt. They have the facilities to carry that sort of, I don't even want to call it a burden, because having an MVP on your roster, is that really a burden? I can't see it as it is. But with the injury thing, it kind of is.
Yeah, that's a burden.
I'm not going to say it's an overreaction because naturally it's probably what they should look to do. But it's almost impossible. So unfortunately, Sixers are stuck with him for at least the foreseeable.
It's a little bit of a shame for NBA fans. You know what I mean? In general, seeing the level Embiid played at in 2023 when he won the MVP, to how injuries have really hampered his career, how it's hampered his potential of where he could be, where he could have taken the Sixers team. But then when you look at the upcoming of Tyrese Maxey, obviously bringing in VJ Edgecombe, who's looked insane this season so far. Obviously, barring any touch wood, any injuries happen to him, he will have a great season. Most likely will win Rookie of the Year as well. Not to kind of veer off course a little bit, but you see what happened to Dylan Harper for the Spurs. Apparently,
He got hurt, didn't he?
yeah, apparently he wasn't even limping or anything, but then apparently he's got like a calf sort of injury and he's in like a walking boot and stuff. You already know with calf injuries in the NBA.
Yeah,
That's
I've had calf strain before, by the way. It's not nice, bro.
But then
your calf is burning, dog.
bro, it's a potential Achilles waiting to happen for these basketball players. Calf injuries nowadays, that's almost, I don't even want to put it in the same sentence as an ACL, but if you have a calf injury in an NBA, they're sitting you out for a long time.
The Achilles injury is the new ACL, and I say that in regards
Bro.
to like 50 years ago. If you do your ACL, you're done. You
Facts.
probably have to retire.
Facts.
But now these days, ACL, they've got the science technology, they can handle that. But if you do your Achilles, there's still not definitive proof in regards to what it is for an ACL that you'll come back the same.
I mean, Tatum and Halliburton, they've been dunking already. I mean, they're dunking the ball already, so yeah, obviously it shows how far medicine has improved. Not to veer, of course, but the Sixers with Maxey, Edgecombe, bringing in McCain when he is fit and healthy as well. Some will look at it like obviously when we brought Sam on last episode to go that route, but then obviously I mentioned about as fun as it looks when you get into the playoffs, you need a player like you, Embiid. I mean, you need that player to get you over the top. But then is Embiid at that level right now where he can get you over the top, or would he just hinder you because of his lack of physical capabilities now? Do you know what I mean? So you're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place with Embiid.
Exactly. I do believe he's still like a talent that would take a team over the top, but it would need to be the right team in regards to, like I said earlier, they would have to have the pieces ready and available for when Embiid inevitably goes down. So like, let's say like if the salary cap wasn't a thing and he went to Golden State, for example, they could manage somebody like Embiid because they have Steph Curry, they have Jimmy Butler, they have Draymond, they have, all these pieces. They have some young guys, they have role players, they have it all. And if you put Embiid in there, they're flirting with the best teams in the West very easily. But you can't just put Embiid in, for example, who's a team that might be on the precipice and maybe could use a big man. You can't put Embiid in Portland and then expect it to be like, oh, Portland are one of the best teams in the West now. No, they're not, because Embiid is a 6-week injury away from wiping out their title contention hopes. So it would have to be the right team to take a Joel Embiid on, and even then, I don't even know if there is.
Personally, I think he's finished. Um, to the level that people haven't beat at, I don't think he's anywhere near it. But we'll move on to the last one. The Raptors will finish a top six seed in the East. A reaction or not? They're currently 2-3
Wow, overreaction, you know.
on a 2-game winning streak.
Fair play to the Raptors, but I just think the fit between specifically RJ, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram
Ingram.
is
Mm.
awkward, bro. Is awkward. Just because I don't think they've had. Maybe they have, and I don't know, but it doesn't feel like any of them really want to sacrifice their game for the benefit of the team. In regards to Scotty Barnes has come into the Toronto situation in that, well, they drafted me here. They've probably said I have the keys to the franchise here. I've made the All-Star team already here as well. Like, I'm the guy. Brandon Ingram has been traded to the team, and we know what Brandon Ingram is, you know, one of the best scorers in the league. Needs the ball to be effective, not much of an off-ball kind of guy, not much of a defender. So he needs his touches. And then RJ's come into a situation with the Raptors where it's like, okay, you know, hometown kid. I had promise when I came to New York. I didn't quite fulfill it. I'm probably the most, you know, willing person to take a back seat. But if I'm going off, I'm going off. You can't stop. You can't turn off the water. So because that fit is so awkward and the team is still quite young as it is, I'm not sure about a top six locked in playoff spot. They could make the play in and they could make some noise and make the playoffs that way. But top six, I'm not sure. Even in the East, I'm not sure.
I hear it. I mean, I do like the talent that obviously you just mentioned out there with Ingram, Barnes, RJ Barrett. I've never really been the biggest fan of, but I understand the talent, the value
I
that he can
have, but
provide.
he's somebody that I feel like has never really been willing to take a back seat on any team that he's been on. When it's in New York, it feels like he needs to get his touches so then he can be locked in and effective. Same thing with the Toronto Raptors, even though they could probably use some 3-and-D pieces right now, but he doesn't seem willing to fit that mold. Raptors fans can let me know if I'm wrong, but that's how I see it.
I just don't know how his value of just what post scoring and occasional 3-point shooting and stretching out the floor can help this Raptors team. You know what I mean? Like you said, he does look like the type of player that needs the ball in his hands, but he's not exactly a prolific scorer like that for a team to just be, give him the keys to, I guess, the whole offense.
Have to agree. Have to agree. But I'm not as big of an RJ Barrett hater as you are, from what it seems. You know, I
I mean,
still see
someone call me
the
a born hater. You know what I mean? So it makes it fun, innit?
terrible, terrible from you, Stateside. I'm
But
terrible.
hey, I really like the Raptors team in 2019, and obviously they've kind of been in an awkward spot. But like you said, if they can make the play and somehow scrape into the playoffs, that'll be good for them. I mean, I think the fans are begging for some sort of like relevancy.
For sure, it's interesting as well because obviously Masai's not there no more. And obviously Masai was somebody who was obviously there for a very long time, overseeing things, normally made the right decisions, normally made big swings as well. However, when it came to Masai, normally he didn't miss. So now I'm not sure who's the person that's, you know, in control of basketball operations over there, but it's gonna be a while, I feel like, before we see Toronto be one of those steady franchises. Because for a long time, that's what I saw them as. They had Pascal over there. Even when Kawhi left, they were still middle of the road, but one of those steady kind of franchises that you wouldn't put in the, you know, like we spoke about earlier in the episode, those dysfunctional franchises that are always in disarray, that are always competing for lottery picks, that always have drama for the wrong reasons. You wouldn't put Toronto in that. But that's because they had Messiah, they had like a stable front office, and Nick Nurse was there as well. Now I have no idea what the hell is going on over there. So Raptors fans, like I said, they will have to really let me know for real, for real. Maybe we have to do an episode on them in one of these future episodes of the
We might
Stateside.
have to get a Raptors representative to actually make
Potentially,
make us aware of what's going on in
potentially,
Toronto.
because it's they're very interesting team in that you ask one person and they're like we said they're overreacting in my eyes and saying they're a playoff team, and then you ask another person maybe they think they're a bloody lottery team. So I think it'd be interesting to see what it is in Toronto these days because I'll be real, I follow a lot of basketball teams, but in Toronto I have no idea.
Hey, it's been a long time since I really locked in on Toronto basketball. I'd probably say around when Kawhi was there or just the season just after. But outside of that, yeah, haven't really locked in on the Raptors. Like you said, we could look to get a Raptors representative on here, have a chat with them, see what's going on in Toronto, see what the temperature is there, if they can make the play and if they can make the playoffs, and kind of take it from there. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to park this episode for today. Episode 20. Jesus Christ.
20.
Episode
Bloody hell.
58 of the Safe Side Report
One more
UK.
turnover to round it off, huh?
We start as we meant to go on. We start as we meant to go on. I'm a walking turnover if I've ever seen one.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
gosh.
But like I said, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed running point today. Same time again next week.
Oh, same time again next week, my friend.
Yeah, maybe the coach might put me in again. Who knows?
This is definitely giving Cooper Flag a point guard for sure. Definitely.
Hey, I'm a positionless player. I'm a positionless player. Do you know what I mean? Just get me on the court and let me do my thing, coach. I promise you, I'll never let you down.
That old chestnut. Bloody hell. I'm a point forward. Hey, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'll space out and just launch that quickly for you, coach. You know what I mean? Have some faith in me. But like I said, episode 58, it was a fun episode. You know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe, all that jazzy stuff, as you say. Do you know what I mean? Same time next week.
Same time next week, Baba.
You love to see you, man. Over and out, man. See you in a bit.
Take it easy, lads.